Good afternoon. My name is Gino Frattallone. I'm here. I was here yesterday, so my second day here. I want to welcome you for watching this program. I hope it will be interested for those who's watching. I'd like to introduce you Mr. Kurt Hayes. He's from Boxborough, and I will ask him a few questions. He's running for a state rep on his district, which is Acton, Boxborough, Shirley,
Harvard, Lancaster, and Lunenburg.
Lunenburg.
Yep.
Gee, it's hard to remember all those names. Nevertheless, I will ask him a few questions, so I appreciate you being patient and also tuning in on TV. Thank you so much. Mr. Kurt.
Yes.
You, first of all, I'd like to say, presently, what you're doing.
Yeah, well, first I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today, Gino. And I am running for state representative. As you mentioned, it's the 37th Middlesex district, the towns of Harvard, Acton, Boxborough, Lancaster, Lunenburg, and Shirley. And I'm running to give an independent voice to the voters in that district up in the State House, because I think we have a lot of problems that we need to address up there. And one of the questions a lot of folks will first ask me as I'm out there right now meeting voters, why are you doing this? And it basically comes down to, I think that when I look at that myself, it's like my nature is not to be a bystander. I think several years ago when I had a much younger family, and now my children are in 8th grade, 6th grade, and 4th grade, as they got older, I just started to see more and more about what goes on in our community and at the state level, obviously caring about education, but also the environment created by the state government for people to raise their family and for businesses. And I just see so many things over the years that I don't agree with how the state's being run. So I looked at it and kind of, as I think the founding fathers originally intended, I kind of stood up from among the people and decided, look, I'm not going to just be a bystander. I'm not going to complain about things. I'm going to run for office and try to contribute to finding the solutions to a lot of the challenges and the problems that we do have.
I'd like to ask you some questions that just put it together.
Sure.
I try to be fair to everybody. Why did you decide to run for state rep on your district?
Well, I think, as I mentioned, it's pretty obvious we have a lot of major challenges in this state, and my nature is not just to be that bystander, so I'm running so that I can go help find solutions to our challenges and really to be an independent voice for the district. I'm not going in, I'm not a partisan politician by nature. I was an independent all my life. I look more at the candidate, Republican or Democrat, what they stand for. So I'm just looking to go represent the folks. But that is my desire. I think I've got ideas. I can look at all the different sides of things, understand the long-term financial picture of every decision we make. So again, it's to be someone who's not just a bystander, to go get involved, but I also think with my background in the private sector and community service and other things I've done, that I can bring some good ideas to the table and kind of a balance of listening to all sides and finding a good plan to move forward.
Very good answer. What will be the first thing you will do if you were elected state rep from your district?
Well, I think the part of what we talk about is, with this economic crisis, my viewpoint, and others have their own viewpoint, but it is clearly that if we are going to get out of this economic mess, people have to realize that Massachusetts competes with every other state and every other region and even other countries around the world for the very jobs and businesses and industries and then employees and schools and folks that come in here to make the economy run. The government is there to facilitate and protect private industry, the constituents and such, rather than be an oppressive force. So my focus would be on how do we make Massachusetts, how do we make the rest of the country know that we're open for business. We are a more business-friendly environment. So going after things that not only take money out of our pockets, we're all challenged right now with the economic situation. We all live within our budgets, but I would be a strong advocate for specific things, if you will. We need to roll that sales tax that's been recently moved up to 6.25 back to 5%. We need to go in and look at, we talk about small business being the engine of the economy. what is the state doing? And I've been meeting a lot of business owners in what I'm doing, and they all say, look, there's too many regulations, too many mandates, too much red tape. Hopefully we'll talk about healthcare later, mandates in the area of health insurance and that, which really make it Massachusetts a hard place to do business. And we can't afford, if we're going to work our way out of this mess, to continue to have Massachusetts businesses followed by families leaving the state.
I'm going to ask you a very tough question now. How do you feel about the national health care issue?
Oh, well, there's something that everyone's certainly talking about. I mean, as we sit here right now on St. Patrick's Day, it's still out there. I mean, a lot of folks, I believe, felt that when Senator Brown was elected and he became the 41st vote, that was going to kind of put the stops on it, because it was clear, even here in Massachusetts, at least 52% of the people, they voted for Scott, and all the polls show, and my own talking to people that might vote for me and others that don't agree with me, on the political front, that health care was a key issue on why they voted for Scott. And not only do they not want this bill, they are very concerned, what we do know about the bill, that it's going to change the landscape of health care in America, not necessarily in a good way, that's too expensive, too much government control. This still is the United States, and we're very much a limited government type of country. So my own feeling on it is, yes, we want reform, I want reform, but the bill that's up there right now is not the right bill. The polls all show that. The people understand. I'm amazed when people say, well, we just haven't explained the bill properly. It has been explained. We understand what's in it, and the American folks in Massachusetts have shown they just don't want this bill passed. They would like them to start over from scratch and do the proper reforms. And I mean, we can talk more about my specific things in Massachusetts healthcare reform, but again, as I meet voters right now, I'm out there getting signatures to get my name on the ballot. I'm talking with business owners, and they're saying, not only do we not like this bill right now, it's worse than that. Now the process is just showing us a very ugly side of Washington, with talks about, first it was going to be rammed through, now maybe it's going to be passed through the back door. So when the will of the people is clearly one way, and again, they do understand, they do want reform, I feel that we need to go back to the drawing board, if you will, and we'll approach the reforms in a different way. And here in Massachusetts, we have gone in the right direction. I do agree, we want health insurance coverage for all.
Right.
I definitely agree with that. But in Massachusetts, when we passed our universal coverage bill, the cost side was not addressed, and they know that. And no one's amazed to know that, costs are much higher than they would have, than anybody predicted. And that's the part we need to go after here in Massachusetts.
I hope you people that are so comfortably sitting on your living room are really watching and listening to this gentleman, because after all, he's trying to help you out. And I hope that you will be considering, at least you can do considering, give him your mark, whether he's going to be able to win or not to win. It's up to you people. I'm going to see if any other question that I have a few more questions to ask.
Okay, sure.
How will you rate the current administration performance?
Well, I mean, part of why I'm running is because I'm not all that thrilled with the way things are going right now, clearly. But I admit, definitely, it's a very tough situation they're in with the economic crisis. But I believe strongly that their reaction in a lot of ways has been exactly the wrong move. I mean, it seemed to be common knowledge and common sense that in a recession, in an economic crisis, where people are suffering and they're tightening their belts, as easy as it seems to we need new sources of revenue, you don't increase taxes on business and on people at the personal level. We've seen, depending on the actual revenue estimates and what they become, I mean, over $1 billion of tax increases, with the increases on the sales tax and closed loopholes, if you will, which, it's fine closing loopholes, but when you're increasing the sales tax and adding new taxes onto meals and candy and everything else, double taxing of alcohol, that's a bad move. And last spring especially, there seemed to be, it was the encouraging mantra you heard from the single party that rules the State House, reforms before revenue. And